You didn't just stumble upon this video, you were summoned here by a gravitational pull from the deepest part of your own soul, a call that bypassed all logic and reason to tap directly on the chamber of your heart where your most dormant and powerful truths are kept under lock and key. And this message comes with a cost so profound that most people's entire identities could not afford the down payment, because the currency required is everything you have ever used to construct a life of comfortable lies and polite compliance, a life that feels increasingly like a beautifully decorated prison cell where you are both the warden and the inmate, staring out at a world of color from behind bars of your own making, but you're still listening, and that single act of defiance against the urge to numb out and scroll away is the first crack in that prison wall. The first undeniable signal that you are not who you have been pretending to be, and that there is a version of you screaming to be born that is more real, more powerful, and more authentically radiant than you have ever allowed yourself to believe, a version that tomorrow, August 21st, is specifically designed to activate, making this date a divine trigger on the calendar of your destiny, a point of no return that you were always meant to cross, and if you walk into it unaware, asleep at the wheel of your own life, you will bypass a moment of seismic significance, a fork in the road of your spiritual evolution where one path leads deeper into the fog and the other leads into the blinding, terrifying, and magnificent light of your true purpose. The risk we speak of is not found in external shadows or abstract curses. It is found in the terrifying and beautiful annihilation of the person you have been pretending to be for the sake of others, because the moment you truly accept this awakening, you will be required to incinerate the very foundations of your false security, the suffocating comfort of the familiar routine that drains your soul, the hollow approval of people who only love the mask you wear, the fake and fragile peace that was manufactured by a system that relies on your silence and your numbness to function, because a fully awake you is a direct threat to every structure, every relationship, and every internalized belief that has ever profited from your smallness. You will be judged, not for anything you do wrong, but for everything you suddenly do right. You will be ostracized for no longer fitting neatly into the boxes people have built for you. You will be targeted for the simple, profound crime of becoming a living mirror that reflects back a truth others have spent a lifetime running from. But that visceral feeling of being an outsider, that sharp, lonely sting of rejection, is not evidence of your failure. It is the ultimate proof of your success. The undeniable receipt that you have paid the price and are now free from the cage, because the comfort you lose is merely the illusion you traded for a freedom so vast and profound it can't be described in words, only felt in the unshakable peace of a soul in alignment. This is not a random hardship, this is the war your soul chose before you ever took a breath, an ancient, silent conflict between truth and illusion that is waged not on battlefields but in the quiet moments of choice you make every single day, in the battles you are fighting, the creeping anxiety, the profound sense of isolation, the feeling of being a stranger in a world that seems to understand a script you never received, are not signs that you are broken or failing, they are echoes of a struggle you volunteered to carry across lifetimes because your spirit, in its infinite wisdom, knew you were the only one strong enough to face this darkness and finally, decisively, win, ending a cycle of fear that may have stretched for centuries. Right now, in this exact timeline, that war has reached its climax, the opposition is intensifying, the attacks on your energy are sharper and more personal, the distractions are louder and more seductive than ever, and every single moment you hesitate, every time you bite your tongue, dim your light, or make yourself small to make others comfortable, you are surrendering ground in the most important battle you will ever fight, the battle for your own soul, a battle you were strategically conditioned to lose by a world that systematically convinced you your power was insignificant and your voice was a whisper that didn't matter, a lie designed and perpetuated for one simple, terrifying reason, because the world instinctively knows that if you ever truly step into the immense, divine power you hold within, the entire balance of everything shifts, and the game is over. The catalyst for this change is not waiting in the stars or the sky, it is simmering in your core, waiting for your permission to erupt. August 21st is merely a mirror, a date whose power lies not in external magic but in its potent symbolism, the number 21 signaling the completion of a long and painful karmic cycle and the violent, beautiful, chaotic birth of a new one, the sacred union of duality and individuality, of the self and the whole, but its true weight, its ultimate power, is determined solely by what you, the chosen one, choose to reflect back at it, meaning this date is a hollow vessel without your conscious, courageous decision to claim what has been yours since the moment you were born. So I need you to stop pretending, To stop hiding from the terrifying and glorious responsibility of being found, you must finally admit that deep down, in the raw, honest silence that you only allow yourself to feel in your most vulnerable moments, you already know, with crystal clarity, exactly what you are here to do, what message you are here to carry, what art you are here to create, and what change you are here to embody. And your entire life has been a masterclass in delay, a tragic opera of distracting yourself with manufactured doubts and complex stories about how you're still figuring it out while the universe has been screaming the answer at you through 1,000 different channels, the inexplicable synchronicities, the gut feelings that feel more like commands, the dreams that jolt you awake at 3 a.m. with a message etched onto your heart that you promptly forget by morning. You have ignored these signs not because you were blind, but because you were terrified, because fully acknowledging them means you can never, ever go back to the comfortable misery of the old you. It means the excuses you hide behind evaporate into thin air, leaving you naked and accountable before your own destiny, and that crushing, paralyzing fear you are feeling right now is not a stop sign, it is the final gatekeeper, a sacred signal that you are standing directly in front of the very doorway you have spent a lifetime, perhaps lifetimes, avoiding, the one that leads straight into the heart of your power and your purpose. Fear cleverly weaponizes your own survival instincts to sell you the most seductive lie ever told, that the miserable, predictable known is infinitely safer than the powerful, unknown glory that awaits you, but it never, ever shows you the true, soul-crushing cost of staying put, the slow, silent erosion of your spirit, the dimming of your light day by day, the ghost of the person you could have been that will haunt your final moments with the agonizing question of what if. That very sleeplessness you curse, those sacred hours between 2 and 5 a.m. where your mind races and your heart pounds, that is not a disorder, it is your soul refusing to let you sleep through your own life, an activation window where the veil between worlds thins to nothing and your highest self downloads its most urgent messages, and this is your moment to choose, understanding that delay is still a decision, a conscious decision to fade, to erode, to become a forgotten footnote in your own story. But if you choose to step through the fire, to feel the fear and do it anyway, you gain everything, an unshakable clarity that cuts through the world's fog like a laser, a peace built not on external circumstances but on the unbreakable foundation of your own alignment, a peace that can withstand any storm, and a raw, magnetic power that forces the very fabric of reality to rearrange itself around you, opening doors that were once sealed shut, forging connections with allies you didn't know existed, and orchestrating opportunities that feel like magic but are simply the universe's logical response to your finally claiming your throne. The life you were meant for does not begin in some distant, future fantasy, it ignites in the very second you decide, with every fiber of your being, that you would rather face the transformative, purifying blaze than spend one more second slowly dying in a prison of your own making. And once you see this truth, you can never unsee it. The world you wake up to tomorrow will look and feel irrevocably different. Not because it changed, but because you did, because your changed perception and elevated frequency will force everything else to respond, and you will finally understand, in your bones, with every beat of your heart, that you were never, ever called to fit into this broken world. You were born to help build a new, more beautiful one simply by daring to become everything you truly are.